Welcome back, everyone. We're on lesson 5. Now, when we send garbage to landfills, it piles up in great heaps or masses. But there's also a bit of science related to these landfills, so let me explain. You see, in this environment, oxygen and water are usually in short supply, so it takes a long time for garbage to completely decompose. And when it does, new waste is created in the form of leachate, which is a new toxic liquid, and 2 greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide and methane, are also created. Modern landfills treat leachate, converting it to energy, but this is an expensive process. So we have to be mindful of the environmental impact that landfills have on our environment with the new waste that's generated from landfills when we use them. Right now, if you consider that there's a huge garbage pit that's swirling in our Pacific Ocean that's the size of Texas, you will agree that this is a significant environmental concern. It's also good to know which common household items on a much smaller scale are banned from your local landfills. These are usually products that, if not handled properly, can be dangerous to our health and to the environment. Some of these items will need to be taken to a local household hazardous facility when you're ready to dispose of them. So be sure to have clients keep a short list of what these items are and where to bring them. But also have clients check with their local household hazardous waste facility to get a complete and official list. Here you will see 5 items that are generally considered to be special concerns for landfills. If your client doesn't recycle, the best way to get them into the habit is to set up a simple system with them or for them. Now, if your client lives in a city that provides separate cans for trash, recycling, and garden or lawn waste, we want to encourage that they use them. But at the very least, have clients put a second trash can inside their home and put it next to the trash, and then of course label it recycling. Your client's family and guests will then know which is which. Next, have your client go to their city's waste management website and print the list of recyclable materials that they accept, and then have them tape it to recycling bins or even on the refrigerator. If you help your client set up this simple system, recycling becomes a lot easier or simplified for them. Now that we've got our client set up with the recycling system, it's time to get even smarter about the paper products that they use and to reduce their consumption wherever possible. The process of waste paper recycling most often includes mixing used or old paper with water and chemicals to break it down. It's then chopped up and heated, which breaks it down further into strands of cellulose, a type of organic plant material. This results in a mixture called pulp or slurry. It is strained through screens which remove any glue or plastics, especially from plastic-coated papers, that may be still in the mixture, then cleaned, de-inked, bleached, and then mixed with water. Then it can be made into new recycled paper. A biodegradable product is one that has the ability to break down safely and relatively quickly by biological means into the raw materials of nature and to disappear into the environment. These products can be solids which are biodegrading into the soil, which we also refer to as compostable, or they can be liquids that are biodegrading into water. As an example, biodegradable plastic is intended to break up when it's exposed to microorganisms, which would be a natural ingredient such as cornstarch or vegetable oil when it's added to achieve this result. The sustainable disposal of any product requires that its waste can be returned back to the earth and that it's able to biodegrade. Nature biodegrades everything it makes back into basic building blocks so that new living things can be made from the old. Every resource made by nature returns to nature. Plants and animals biodegrade. Even raw crude oil will degrade when exposed to water, air, and the necessary salts. Nature has perfected this system, and we just need to learn how to participate in it. Composting is the act of food scraps, garden or grass clippings, weeds, and other organic matter being decomposed and returned to the earth. It is turned into humus, a soil-like material that is used in vegetable and flower gardens, landscaping, and other applications. Here you can see the benefits to composting listed, so it makes a lot of sense no matter how you look at it. When we get a client interested in composting, it's a good idea to start a system like we do for clients when they want to get serious about recycling. So this will make it easy and automatic for everyone. Start by making a suggestion to get a kitchen compost pail that can be kept in a convenient spot like underneath the kitchen sink. Instead of scraping all food scraps in the garbage disposal or in the trash, Scrape vegetable scraps and eggshells or similar into the compost pail and then take it out every few days and dump it into the larger compost bin. Now, how many of you have actually heard of worm composting? This is a type of composting that's popular among those who don't have outdoor access or those who just don't want to deal with cold weather. If this describes your client, they can worm compost indoors. It is, of course, something that can be done outside as well, but traditionally, composting is something that's done typically in one's own backyard. So there are some need-to-know facts about backyard composting. Here's the general equation for composting. Air plus water plus carbon plus nitrogen equals compost. The right ratio of carbon and nitrogen is very critical. The perfect ratio of carbon and nitrogen is 3:1. Nitrogen is important because it provides the protein that builds the tiny bodies of the microorganisms that break down the organic matter. These ingredients are known by many gardeners as greens. Here you can see some items that your client should consider adding to their compost bin. Grass clippings are ideal, especially those without chemical fertilizers from the first 2 or 3 weeks of spring when they are most lush and tender. This is due to the time when they are high in nitrogen, but afterwards they go into the carbon category once they've dried out. When an excess of nitrogen converts to an ammonia gas, it causes a foul smell, so that's why it's important to maintain the balance of nitrogen to carbon to prevent the compost bin from developing any bad odors or smells. Carbon is the energy source that microbes use to break down the organic matter ingredients. Carbons are usually brown or yellow in color and usually dry. These ingredients are known by many gardeners who compost as browns. Carbon composting ingredients consist of the items that you see before you on the screen. Carbon-rich compost piles or bins will slowly decompose because there's not enough nitrogen for the microbe population to grow. So when you have your client compost, they'll save money on expensive and chemically filled fertilizers, and they will instead have an all-natural, homemade, and more healthy fertilizing alternative from their garden. In addition to this, they will be saving food scraps from filling the landfills and contributing to a healthier environment. In summary, landfills, recycling, and your client's waste control measures are important green actions. Paper goods and food scraps should be composted. Composting and biodegradables have useful benefits to our clients' health. And lastly, encouraging clients to be creative in ways that protect the ecosystems that they live in is just one way to ensure that they're living a green lifestyle.